Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my channel. So let's get right into this. So I know that if you're in a situation where you are dealing with someone that you love who has been diagnosed with a mental illness, you probably don't want to turn around and watch a movie about someone who has a mental illness. That's probably like the last thing you want to think about when you're relaxing and trying to enjoy a movie. However, recently I saw a documentary on Tubi called The Battle for Brandon, and I thought this was a really inspiring story. So, in this documentary, the father is Brandon's father is a basketball coach, is or was a basketball coach currently at Longwood University. And the family has three kids. Brandon is the oldest. And Brandon was diagnosed with schizophrenia when he was in elementary school. And in elementary school, he felt like people were talking about him, and he was just very paranoid. So his parents had to reluctantly um, have him put in a mental health hospital, a residential program. And it was reluctant. They would come to visit him, and Brandon was actually really angry with his parents for putting him there. So the good thing, if there is a good thing about a family member having a mental illness, is that by Brandon being a minor, his parents had more control over his care. And so they were presented with the opportunity to enroll Brandon in a study. And in this study, he was given Clozaril. And I just want to say, I'm not a doctor. I'm not promoting any type of medication. But just talking about this movie, Brandon was given Clozaril. And once the Clozaril kicked in, before, when Brandon's dad would come and visit him at the hospital, he wouldn't stay long. He made a point of checking in and letting Brandon know, I love you, we're here for you. But he wouldn't stay long because Brandon was just very angry and not really communicative with him, other than to say negative things. However, once the Clozaril kicked in, when the dad went to go see Brandon at the hospital, Brandon said to his dad, "Dad, you've got to get me out of here. These people in here are crazy." So, long story short, Brandon returned to the family home. And one, I also want to stress that um, Brandon's dad was at some type of event, something to do with his career in basketball. And he talked about Brandon. He told, their story dealing with this mental health situation. And somehow, the family wanted to put all three of their kids into a private school, but they could only afford the tuition for two. And so, by the dad sharing their story, not letting stigma keep him quiet, someone at that event, it was a professional football player. I can't think of the person's last name right now, but the person played for the Bengals, if I'm not mistaken. That person donated money to pay for the third tuition. And so the three kids were able to go to this private school. And at the school, the staff and the teachers, the administrative staff, they were very supportive. And so they had Brandon, they did what they could to get Brandon caught up academically. And not only did Brandon catch up academically, but he also tried out for the basketball team. His younger brother was on the basketball team as well. So Brandon did well academically. Brandon played basketball, and then for his high school team, and then Brandon went on to play college basketball. So I found this story to be very inspiring. And so again, I just want to say, don't let stigma keep you quiet. And there is hope out there. So I just wanted to share that. Have a I wanted to share some good news for Good Friday. So until the next video, you all take care and keep hope alive. Don't give up.